but it comes from an old idea. Is often, you'll have the impulse, or I'll have the impulse to write something, and there's a song in here somewhere, but it can be years later before it finally rears its head as a song. In this case, it goes way back. My band and I were having our first hit, and it was 1998, and it was on a song about teenage abortion. So this guy, one time I talked about it at the time, I didn't want to make it I just didn't want to make it a selling point of the song, and I didn't want to get in the middle of a shit show either. So I just, I let it be. So we were having our first. Our first hit, and we're on tour, still playing very small clubs, like small rock clubs. And just because we were on MTV, all of a sudden didn't mean that we had security, So we're downstairs, and this guy comes backstage, just kind of waltz past our relatively surmountable security office. And he comes in, looks around the room. Man, if you notice that if someone sucks their teeth, they're probably fucking crazy. It's like, yeah, I'm not a fan. But my girlfriend is. And I'm wondering what that song on the radio is about. And you're like staring right into my eyes. And he's a kind of short, very buff, tightly strung looking, kind of, muscular, really tight black t-shirt on, as was compulsory in the 90s. And he had a lot of tattoos, which I normally wouldn't have thought about one way or another, but these were particularly of the jail variety. And so I thought I would, I gave him a relatively, I gave him my press answer about why I wasn't going to talk about the song. And I'm in the middle of telling him why I'm not going to tell him about the song. And suddenly he gets pulled out, like with force, by my tour manager. Comes up behind him, grabs him by the, kind of by the elbows, between the elbows and the shoulders, and it's a real struggle, and he's getting this guy out. The guy's kind of kicking, and his arms are flailing a little bit. And then I realized that in one hand he had a knife. He had pulled a knife, and I was too busy telling him about why I wasn't going to talk about my hit song to notice that he had pulled out a knife. So they're dragging him out, and this cacophony goes out into the hallway. And it's just the king screaming. They're trying to get the knife from him and stuff, and I'm looking at it, and I'm thinking to myself, this guy and his girlfriend really aren't on the same page. And so years go by, and really, quite often, someone comes up to me and says, "I'm not a fan," and it's usually that they want to get something, signed, and they don't want you to think it's their idea, because their friend or their son or someone wants the signature and not them, and that's fine. As long as they don't pull out a knife, it doesn't matter to me. But it makes me think about, with this guy and his girlfriend, and I think about musical taste and how personal that can get. If one likes something of a certain order of art, and the other completely opposes it, doesn't like it. So if you're in a new relationship, that's one of the first things you start talking about is like, what kind of music do you like? And you can overlook bad taste in music for a while, and it would seem like a vapid thing. But at some point, it certainly stands for something. So anyway, I thought about this Not a Fan song, and I decided just to make a piece out of it in 3 verses that went through the various phases of a relationship, where they realized that it's become insurmountable, their differences of opinion in art. There's nothing about a knife in this song. Not a fan, but I understand if there is something that moves you. It's not my cup of tea. It's part of what makes you beautiful to me. Like you and your friends, you're so well read. I grew up on sugar, cereal, and TV. I'm starting to wonder what you see in me. No, I'm not a fan, but maybe I could learn to be. From the start, you try and tell yourself it's only small, but it's not. And it's the very thing that later on will tear it all apart. I'm not a fan. And I wonder if you really are, or does it make you feel smart? It's a boy band with glasses, just minus the heart. And he's shaking his ass, yeah, and you call it art. Oh, in the lobby you go, meet him for real. And I'll go to the gym, yeah. So go get your t-shirt signed. Fans. May or may not be here.